to the cloud. Okay, there we go. Welcome, ladies. You are welcome to unmute yourself and turn on your cameras for this event. And we encourage you to do that on all events so you can get to know one another. My name's Tim Cook. I know most of you, but not everyone. Yes, I'm not a woman, so I get that. So I'm only going to be here a couple of minutes, but I wanted to take a few words and welcome you to the first women's only event that we plan to hopefully do more, depending on what you'd like to do. But we'd like to start holding these meetings on some frequency that works for everybody. And JJ is going to talk to you more about that. But we're excited. We've been wanting to do this for a while. And JJ and I connected a little while back and started putting together the pieces for it. And hopefully you're going to find this beneficial to you. We know that there's some very unique things that women want to talk about and need to talk about in the investing world. And we just thought that maybe this would be of interest to everybody. So that's why we started putting this together. We have no rules, no plans yet. And that's what JJ wants to talk to you about. And we just appreciate your candid thoughts and ideas and opinions on, is this going to work? Is this something you're interested in? Where would you like to see it go? What would you like to talk about? Who would you like to hear from? So on and so forth. So with that said, I want to introduce the speaker. I don't know how many of you actually know JJ. We've known each other for quite a few years. One, she's a veteran, so that's how we kind of instantly connected when she came to the first meeting. That was probably, gee whiz, what, 4 or 5 years ago, JJ?
Yeah, it was before the pandemic.
Yeah, it was before you moved.
No, it was when I first moved there in 2016.
No, before you moved, right?
Oh,
weren't you still in was it Mississippi or Louisiana or something?
Yeah, I was stationed in Louisiana. That's when I first met you, when I got there in 2016.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so it's been a while, and she was occasionally come to the meetings when she was in town and stuff, and we just kind of clicked, and now she's here working full time and in the business and other businesses. So when I approached her about it, she was really excited. You're going to see she's a very excited person, very cheery and chirpy, and I think you're going to like that. I know I do. JJ's got quite a detailed background in education. I'll let her get into some of those details, but it's pretty impressive. And all the things that she's doing today as well in her business. So I'm excited that you can come and listen to her today and be honest with her. Tell her what you're thinking, tell her what you're interested in doing, and let's see if we can get this off the ground and make this work for all of you. We do appreciate your time and thoughts and input here. And with that, I'm going to let you go and sign off. Unless anybody's got any questions for me. Anyone at all?
I just have one. Don't forget to make me host before you leave.
So you are, I made the setting changes so that you are the host, and the video will download to the cloud after, even though I'm going to sign off. So if you do happen to run into any kind of technical issues, feel free to call me back and I'll jump in if I can. So,
okay.
Anyone have a question for me at all? Okay. Well, thank you very much again, JJ. I really appreciate you doing this. And I hope you girls have a blast.
Thank you so much, Tim, for starting this process, giving us space. Have a good night. All right.
I gotta assign it to the right
Tim
person.
is still here, but I can at least start. Oh, there you go. I can at least start filling in some of the, wow, we have a good group tonight. I'm so excited you all are here today. What we're going to be doing today is, as Tim outlined, we felt like there was a need for a women's only group to talk about investing and talk about some of the unique things for being a woman, investing while being a woman, like trades trying to take advantage of you when you're 9 months pregnant, trying to finish a rehab. And you know, just some things where we can kind of let down our hair and just be real about the ins and outs of real estate. And today's meeting, Tim said I was going to be teaching, but today's meeting, I'm not going to really be teaching so much as fact finding. So what I'm hoping that we can accomplish today is, you know, learn a little bit about each other. I do want to go around the room. And then we've got a little bit of an agenda to kind of figure out how we want to meet, when you know, how often we want to meet, how we want to handle recordings. Do we want to try to have in-person meetings? Do we want to mix it up? You know, we've also been charged by Tim to kind of decide on a name. We've got a temporary name behind me there. But there's a couple other groups that have names. And so we can just kind of talk about some of those things. And then one of the big things that I do want to take away is I know we have experienced women investors in this group, and I'd like to get some suggestions for guest speakers so that we can start lining up each meeting to start off with maybe a 10 or so minute educational piece from someone who knows the ropes, and then we can do Q&A and then open it up for discussion. That's kind of the format that I'm looking at. But again, what we're doing today is determining all of those things, like what kind of format and what it is that we're all looking for and what we need out of a group. And so what I'm going to ask, I guess I'll drop it in the chat just to say, oh, how do you say your name? Chantier? Am I saying that right? Chantier? Chantier?
Yes, ma'am.
Which one?
Chantier.
Chantier. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad you dropped your information on the chat. It's okay. I understand all about 3 months olds. In fact, if you look on the internet, you're going to find pictures of me teaching people how to invest in real estate with my son nursing under a poncho. So, or I think I've got one where we're actually in Keller Williams, Kingstown, and I'm standing up teaching to a slide and nursing my kids. So I totally get that. Absolutely. We're so excited that you all are on today. And so I'm going to ask everybody to just kind of give us your name, your investing experience, just briefly, and then what you hope to get. I'm speaking as I type out of a women's investor group. Okay. And so I will hit send on that. Hopefully you all can see that. Now, as people, oh, he did not tell me. Okay, he made me the host though. So if anybody shows up in the waiting room, I should be able to see that and let them in. If y'all know that somebody's waiting and I don't address them or get them in here, y'all let me know. Okay, in fact, I'm going to drop my personal cell phone in here just so that you have it, because if we need it, we need it. Okay, and if somebody is waiting and they're like texting you, hey, I can't get into the meeting. Well, I don't want it to be, but I don't know how to do something. You know, I want to make sure we get as many people in here as we can. Okay. All right. So what our name is, what our investing experience is, and what we hope to get out of Women's Investor Group. And so just to be a model of what we're looking for here, I'm JJ Conway. I have been I like to say when I get on stage that I have been investing since 1999, when me and my ex-husband bought our first house. Waiting room, admit. Let me let them in. Okay. And then I'll paste this because you can't see it if you weren't already in the group. All righty, paste. Okay, so name, investing experience, what you hope to get out of the group. So my name is JJ Conway, and I do like to say on stage that I've been investing since 1999 when me and my ex-husband bought our first piece of real estate, first house either one of us had ever lived in our entire lives. But the reality is it probably wasn't until about 2010 or so when I actually had the gumption to step out on my own and start investing. And what motivated me to do that was that I ended up with about $800-something thousand of divorce debt. So I had to learn how to make money in a hurry. And so one of the things that really helped me get started in having the confidence to invest in real estate was a women's group that was run out of my REIA. I was in Baltimore, I was in DC area at the time. So I went to a group called Maria. the Baltimore, it's in Baltimore City, and they had a women's only group. And through that group, I had the confidence, and I gained the confidence and was able to ask the questions I need. And I had people to turn to when things went wrong with my rehab in order to get my first deal done. And so that's something that I hope that this group will be for everybody else that's here. At least one of the many things that we might want is a place where women can get their legs under them and get their confidence to at least get that first deal done, if not others. All right. So let's see. I think if y'all will allow me, I'm going to go around my screen and call on folks, just so we can make sure we give everybody an opportunity to speak, and then we'll go to those who aren't able to come on screen. And if you can't come on screen or you can't unmute like Chantier, feel free to put your information in the chat and I will read it so that it gets captured in the recording that Tim may or may not post, aside, depending on what we decide to do, the recording that Tim might post to the group. Okay. All right. So I've got Lee next. And then after Lee, I have Sarah.
Hi guys, my name is Lee Perkins. I guess I could go with some of that old adage that I've been investing since 2001 when I bought my first rental. But it wasn't until 2018 where I kind of got back in and got started again. I purchased mainly buy and hold properties here in the Fort Worth area. What else? And I just wanted to make connections today. So just here.
All right. Thank you, Lee. Next up, I have Sarah. And then after Sarah, I have Lisa.
Hi, everybody. I'm new to investing, and I plan on making this my career change completely because I've just did a complete start over in life again. And I'm doing wholesaling right now as a method to get into it. That's really not what I want to do long term because it's not long-term wealth. But I would like to do buy and hold or buy and owner finance.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. All right. After that, I have Lisa. And then after Lisa, I've got Misty.
Okay, my name is Lisa McCormick, and I've probably been investing since, like you said, 99. I'm kind of unusual. I'm an Army vet. So when you're talking about Baltimore, I know that area well. I've been in and out of different types of investments. So one of the things I like to do is be able to share with things that you may not realize benefit women alone. For example, I'm in business with my husband, but I'm the primary 55% owner. So that kind of information helps people because you can get a contract or get federal funding. I mean, things change. So that's information I like to share. So I sometimes don't think having a speaker come in, because a lot of speakers try to sell us stuff. And that's
let me stop you on that for a second. Not stop, but I want to piggyback real quick before you move on that, because I'm not looking for gurus. I'm looking for local members. Like people in our group or people that we think will join our group that will come and give of their time, and we're not selling in this group. Okay. So I'm glad Lisa said that, because I would have totally forgot to mention that. Okay, Lisa, thank you. And I am hoping you'll be one of them.
Well, one of the things that I do for some new investors to think about is I have my license to sell used manufactured homes, which you need in Texas if you sell more than one. But I haven't really done that because of the pandemic. But one of the easy ways to get into real estate is through manufactured homes. So that's something that for you guys to look at for future things, because it's cheaper and it's just cheaper. So. And I also have a lot of information about credit and financing, because also I'm a disabled person. I'm in a wheelchair permanently for 30 years. So accessible housing is another area that you can look at. And then I'm a disabled vet. There's a lot of vets that come through the Dallas VA that we can get their information, not the vet's information, but there are social workers that are looking for housing for disabled vets. So that's just some information to share to give you an idea of what maybe we could do. So.
Well, I think we got Lisa on the hook. 3 different months of topics. So and again, the structure, I'm so glad Lisa brought that up. You know, the structure of this group is to really kind of be like a family and not necessarily bring in somebody from Baltimore or somebody from PA, but to bring in somebody who's here, like we can reach out and touch the monthly meetings and ask, okay, how did you do this, or how did you do that, or what do you know about this, or what do you know about that, and each of us bring something to the table. So yay. Okay, all right, I've got next.
Just one question. Are you local now? Are
I'm
you
in
in?
Stephenville.
Okay, because I'm in Cedar Hill, which is just south of Dallas. Okay.
Yeah, well, I actually have an office in Granbury. So I live in Stephenville. I have a office in Granbury. I'm eventually going to have an office in Weatherford. And don't tell Tim, and I don't know if he's going to watch this, but I'm hoping that when I get that training center, it'll be big enough to host meetings.
So you're Fort Worth and West.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm on the east side, which causes, that's why Zoom conferences are better for me, just because to get to Tim's office is a little bit of a, yeah. It's a
I
little
know.
bit of a trip.
For me to get to Tim's office is an hour, and for me to get to our meetings is like an hour and a half. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's like 2 hours, and it's like, okay, well, you know, everything out here is 2 hours. And I think that's another aspect. That's the kind of thing that we would talk about as women. Like, you're on these back roads, these farm to market roads, and you know, how do we protect ourselves, and how do we make sure that we're going to be all right? We're going to actually make it home. Thank you so much, Lisa. All right, I've got next on my screen, I've got Misty and then Robin J.
Hi, Miss JJ. My name is Misty Castleberry, and I'm out here in Boyd, Texas. I've done some investments, but I've been out of the loop for a little while, so I'm, trying to get back involved. And I'm excited about the Women's Investors Group. I'm hoping to build a team of sorts and just try to figure out, what I need and build that team. I know it takes a team, because that was kind of my downfall before. I was trying to do everything by myself. I'm extremely independent, and I need to stop it. So I'm glad y'all are here, and hopefully I can learn a lot.
Well, we're glad you're here, Misty. And I'm sure if I asked who else is in that boat, most of us would raise our hands, that we realize, hey, we got to stop being such control over everything. But, a lot of things we can't control, but the things we can't control, let's control them. And you can control whether or not you are in this group. And oh my goodness, as people are coming in, I'm just getting more and more and more excited. All right. So next up, I've got Robin, and then I see Jay Brown.
Hi there. Well, I'm in the Weatherford area as well. I can't remember when I started investing, but I've been involved in real estate, primarily commercial, since the mid to late 80s, something like that. But my main focus has been for the last 10 years or so is I buy notes that are secured by primarily single family. But there, I do look at small commercial deals as well.
Love it. Robin just hit on two of the things that I'm looking to learn in the next coming year. So every year, don't laugh at me, y'all. Don't laugh too much. But every year I put something new on my list to learn about and see if I like it. Like short sales, did not like. There's too much details for me. But even with a checklist. But one of for next year, this year I want to focus on subject to, and then next year I want to learn a little bit more about commercial, and then I want to learn next on my list after that is notes. So I'm like, Robin is all up in where I want to be. So I'm hoping that she will be able to mentor some of us in those spaces. Thank you, Robin. Okay, next I've got Jay Brown, and then Ruth Ann, who I'm so happy to see today. Let's go ahead and hear from Jay. Do you want us to call you Jay? I mean, I go by JJ, but I want to make sure we call you what you want us to call you.
No, my name is George A.
George A.
Yes.
Okay.
So hi, I'm George A. I live in the Midlothian area. And I work in real estate finance by trade. Started investing about 7 years ago, but haven't in the past 3 years. So I'm looking to start again this year, doing some fix and flips. So I was really excited when I saw about this group. I think it's just a great place for us to network and share ideas, and share our expertise and kind of help each other as far as accountability is concerned as well. So looking forward.
Yes. All right, Georgie, thank you so much. All right, we've got Ruth Ann, and then I don't have anybody else on my screen, so we'll start going to the folks that don't have the screens, and we'll go also look in the chat. How you doing today?
Great. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, I had a little trouble. I wasn't home in time to get my computer booted up. So I first got on the phone. And then once I was here, I tried the computer. Anyway, I had some technical problems earlier. I'm the traditional lender in the group. I'm a sponsor of Tim's group. So I make a lot of the meetings and get to meet a lot of new folks. And I love that. I've been sponsor of the group for over 10 years, I imagine. And I actually did flip a home with my partner. I had a partner in real estate, and she and I weren't as busy as we wanted to be when we first got into real estate. So we assumed a VA mortgage where the lady needed to leave and completely remodeled it and sold it. So I have done a fix and flip. So that was kind of fun. We made a little money and we learned a lot. But I've been a lender for over 30 years. And what Tim thinks is special about my company is that we can do all the traditional things, but we also have a sister bank. And because of the sister bank, we can provide a lot of unusual products. So at some point I'll share that. But that's my experience with the group.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm so glad that you're on. All right. I see that Taryn has popped on the video. Am I saying your name correctly?
Maybe I'm mute. Taran.
Taran. Okay.
Hi. I'm sorry I joined a little late. I just kind of got home, so I wanted to I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm sure I probably missed some introductions of some things that you said, so I'm not sure what the actual group is looking to organize. So I just want to say, but I have not had an opportunity. I'm sort of, I do have a real estate license. So I got a real estate license back in 2016. I'm currently inactive because I work for a mortgage company and it was kind of conflict of interest. So I had to actually go inactive. So I haven't had an opportunity to do any flipping or wholesale, anything additional to the investment side other than joining Tim's group. But I have taken several other classes that I am kind of aware of some of the things that do happen in that field of investment. So, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to learn and possibly share my expertise.
All right, Taran, we're so glad that you are here today. All right, let me see. We already mentioned Chantier. She's got a little one there. And if you want to drop in, oh, there she goes, new to investing, learning, hoping to invest herself, but also help others who want to start investing. Yes, okay. And she's a realtor. Okay, so that's good. Look at this. Look, we got almost everything we need. And then with Paul, well, never mind. Let me save that for later. But like we've got somebody to help us sell the house, somebody to help us get the funding for our people who are coming in to buy the house from us if we want to. I mean, like we almost have everything we need in here. If we could get an electrician and a plumber and an HVAC, I think we would all be good. I wish I could get my sister to come on out here. I tell you what, she's way more handy than I. Okay. All right. So we also have on the line. Oh, I see you changed it. Thank you so much, Georgie. George, is it Georgie or Georgie? Georgie. Georgie. Okay. I see it there. Okay. So let's see. Do we miss anybody? I think we've got everybody. Okay, so let me go back through the beginning of what we're hoping to accomplish today. Today is not going to be a very long meeting. I'm not expecting. Maybe 10 or 15 more minutes, depending on the discussion. I mean, the discussion, who knows how long the discussion goes, but the meeting portion, I was only anticipating about 45 minutes, introduce each other, and then talk about what we want this to be. And it sounds like we're all looking for something to be mutually beneficial and supportive. Some of us have experience that we're wanting to share to help shorten the learning curve for other women, which is fantastic. I love it. And I think we can really take today to kind of suggest some things. And what we're going to do is I'm going to ask some questions about the things that we want. to do with this group. So for those who came on after I gave the initial, we want to talk about possibly name ideas. Most importantly, we want to talk about what kind of frequency and what kind of, dates of the month, times, locations. I know that Lisa mentioned Zoom, and one of the things that I do is almost everything that I do is hybrid. So if it's not completely virtual, we absolutely have the Zoom component. And that's just because being military, I have groups that I helped start in DC and Virginia and Louisiana. So okay, I'm keeping all my peoples as much as I can, So, but this group is specifically for those who are members or potential members of West DFW Real Estate Investment Group. So I'm going to drop in the chat the things that I'd like for you all to think about. And then I'm going to show you the website. I'm going to show you the website. Most of you have probably already seen it, but I just want to make sure that we highlight our sponsors in the calendar and things like that. So things we want to talk about today is name ideas. I thought I had this already prepped and I don't see it to cut and paste. So meeting frequency, I'm thinking maybe monthly, maybe quarterly. Would like to hear what you all are thinking. See date times. And whether there's value in meeting in person. I mean, wait. There's always value in meeting in person, right? But at this point, do we want to be virtual only, or do we want to move on? Okay. So if you have ideas and things, you can go ahead and send them to me directly. Some of you have already started doing that, or you can drop it in the chat or wait till we get to that. And suggestions for guest speakers. We already have like half the year covered between Lisa and Ruth Ann and Robin. I'm like, hey, this is great. So time and possible speakers. Again, looking for people who are local and people who are members or potential members of the group. So what I'm going to do real quick. Well, first of all, show of hands for those who I can see. Are you all? I know most of you are members. But is everybody a member of West DFW REI? Yes or no? Give me a thumbs up if you're a member. Or actually, let me do it this way. Give me a hand raise if you're not yet a member, but you're just trying to see what this is all about. Okay. All right. So I like Tim's group. Like I said earlier, like Tim said earlier, I am retired Air Force. And so being retired Air Force, one of the things that I've done everywhere I've moved is I've joined a real estate investment group. Okay. And the reason I picked Tim's is because when I first came to Tim's group, one of the things that I realized is people were very genuine and people were actually talking about what they did or did not do. I mean, sometimes, y'all, my very first real estate investor meeting, this guy told me how he had spent $80,000 on his real estate investment education. And I'm like, new. I'm like, oh, wow, that's so cool. Tell me how many houses you have. And he's like, oh, I don't have any, but I'm going to buy the class they're selling today. And that's going to push me over the edge. And I was like, I found out that most people in that group, hundreds of people in that group, most people hadn't done a single deal. They hadn't done their first deal, not a wholesale deal, not a bird dog deal, not a deal upon a deal upon a deal. So what I'm showing, so that's one of the things I liked about Tim's group is he was really focused on let's take action and let's get something done. And he had assembled a team, which is actually the screen I meant to be on. He had assembled a team of people who are trusted sponsors that can help us get the deal done. And so I'm just going to scroll through this so you can see our sponsors that we have, including Ruth Ann. We'll get there. But what I want you to see is that this group, this real estate investment group can actually help you with every phase of doing the deal. Okay. Whether you need funding, whether you need access to tools that help you find the properties or learn more about the properties, whether you need a marketing, I mean, your membership comes with a free website, whether you need certain repairs and things, we have a lot of fantastic sponsors who are here to help you do what you need to do. Okay. And so I just wanted to show you that not every group can say that. And I say that with confidence because I've been a member of like maybe 10. between the different places that I've lived. All right. So the other thing that Tim did want me to show you was the calendar that was originally on. And if you are a member, you are able to click on the meetings and you are able to get access to the recordings. Okay. You're able to log in, you're able to get the recordings, you're able to find past meeting files, even the video and the audio. I listen to them when I'm walking. It's a fantastic website. You also get a lot of other freebies that I'm not going to go through today, but there's a lot of resources down here that you will be able to access if you're a member of the group. But this meeting today is free. Once we get up and running, the first meeting is going to be free, and then it can be a pay as you go. Or if you're a member, this comes with your membership. It's not an extra cost. It's already built into your membership. Okay. So it's very reasonable costs. I've been in some groups where they want to charge you $3,000 a year. So I feel like Tim is offering a fantastic deal with the West DFW REI Group. So, all right, let me stop that share and let's just talk about some things. Okay. So the first thing I want to ask everyone about is, how do you all feel about a monthly meeting? Do you feel like a monthly meeting is something that you would be able to attend? I know being moms and women and members of our community, everybody is not going to make every single meeting, but do you think monthly is good, or do you think we should maybe do quarterly, or do you want a weekly?
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
Well, I think monthly is good. And a lot of it is because especially right now, things are changing so fast in both the financial and working fine, but we can also help each other more that way because we are in diverse locations. So one of the other things I wanted to bring up is part of this meeting is that we could be each other's partner, but I've been in partnerships. You have to be extremely careful, even with other women. So that's one of the things to think about. But for instance, I have access to money, but I don't always have access to other houses, or it being in a wheelchair, I can't roll into a house. So I've had to find alternative ways. But if you have a deal that's raising on money, that I can always loan money or know people that are in like my IRA group that loans money out to people. I mean, I'm talking hard money for somebody that needs cash now. If you're a new investor, you may not get that. But if we learn to know each other through a monthly meeting, that may help our trust issues, because that's something that we have to think about as women, but also with each other, because I've been screwed over by women just as well as men. So, and I've been out there and done it. So, and I've lost money. So, that does happen.
The only ship that doesn't float is a partnership.
Yeah. 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 But, it's just different things, but yeah. But, I'm from Pennsylvania. So my brother's a fireman. He might have a deal in Pennsylvania that I could give you and to give to one of your people there. And that's a way to make money that you don't think about. So you're wholesaling across, and I don't know if any member here is part of the, what Tim uses to manage his software and stuff. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head.
Real Flow.
Yeah, Real Flow. Well, Real Flow, you can, have people in other parts of the United States, and you can make money that way, even if it's $1,000, if you learn of a deal and you help either put it under contract in another state. So it's a way you can make money, because I work with veterans in other states. So, that's a way for some of you new people to make money that we don't talk about in Tim's meetings.
Well,
you know what I'm saying about
absolutely. The way I got started in real estate investing until I became a realtor, the way I got started was with bird dogging and having other people find properties for me. And so then that's like the level below wholesaling, where you actually lock it down with a contract. And I expect that this group will be a way for us to kind of step through all of those things and kind of talk through all these different ways that you can invest and get started without having to go into debt or not without having to go into, not that I'm saying not to my lenders on that are on today. I'm not saying don't go into debt, but I'm just saying when you're getting started, you don't want to try to go after a $2 million deal when you haven't even gotten one done first. You know, a $2 million commercial property when you haven't gotten one done first. That doesn't work very well. Ask me how I know. So, I love that, Lisa. Okay, well, I'm looking at the chat and I've got some direct messages as well as to everyone that's basically saying monthly. I think we're all feeling like monthly. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at my calendar and I'm going to look at when can I commit? Because you know what they say when you're planning classes, always schedule times. You know, when's the best time to schedule time is when you can show up. And so what I'm going to do is I've already asked Tim if we can send out a follow-up poll, but I'm going to take a look at my calendar and I'm going to find the best couple of days that I can commit, because I like Thursdays. And real estate is every third Thursday is when I teach real estate for my peeps across the country. And but he's already gotten, you know, the lunch and learn and all that stuff. So we might want to figure out what's a good day for all of us. I'm going to put that poll out there and we can check and y'all can answer and let me know what days work for you. If you have some that you're like, you know what, I like every first Friday or every first Thursday or whatever, we'll do that. But it sounds like this group is good with virtual. Is that what I'm hearing? And maybe once in a while we could do something in person, like meet at a property or meet for lunch or brunch or something kid friendly. I know I'm not going to suggest this to Tim for the monthly meeting, but when I started my Building Wealth Together group in Keller Williams, Kingstown in Alexandria, Virginia, I literally hired a babysitter because if nobody else needed one, I did. And she would come to Keller Williams and she would watch the babies in one conference room while I had my lessons to people in the other conference room. And then when he needed a nurse, she would bring him to me. And but him and my big boy, they would play games. And then anybody else that brought kids, I was already going to have to pay for her anyway, right? So I think we could do something like that. But for now, I'm gonna ask Tim to set us up with a monthly schedule. We'll pick the time and date through poll, and we'll do it on Zoom for now, just for now. Okay. And is 45 minutes to an hour good for you all? Does that sound like a good time? I want it short enough that, because I feel almost like the 45 minutes that I allotted for today is almost up. And I almost feel like that's hardly even enough time for us to really go around the room and say, what are your wins for the week? What deals are you working on? What question? And then, you know, some time for some questions of whoever comes in and chats. So maybe an hour. I don't know how y'all feel about that. Maybe 2 hours. Maybe 2 hours is what we need. But I don't think I would have signed up for something to 2 hours before I retired. So I don't know. Then if nothing heard, I think I'll just put down an hour, and we'll just take it from there. And if we need occasional longer chat sessions, we can do that. I think when I go through my calendar for the poll, I think I will choose times that I can actually book 2 hours. So that way, if somebody has questions for after the main meeting, I could stay on and we can do Q&A. Does that sound reasonable?
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So we've got, we're going to do a poll for the date and time. And we're going to do an hour. What do you all prefer, during the day or at night? Can I get some drops in the poll? I know some people aren't on video, but can I get some drops in the chat? What you prefer, daytime or evening? I'm seeing evening, the same time. Oh, so I was really worried about this time. I was really surprised that this time was the most popular time because it's dinner time, you know, for a lot of people. And I was really surprised that this was the one that most people voted on because, you know, but that's why I put it out to a vote. That's why I don't just say, oh, we're going to do this. Okay. So either I'm seeing mostly evenings. Okay. So if we're going to do evenings, I'm seeing some direct messages on evenings. If we're doing evenings, truth in advertising, I teach Bible study on Wednesdays until fall. and then it'll move to Tuesdays. So we're not likely to do Wednesdays if we're going to do evenings, but we'll set out a poll. You all can let me know the dates and times that work best for you. All right. Another thing, this can kind of get a little sticky. This seems to be a fairly vocal group, so I don't know that it's an issue. But one of the things that Tim would like to do is to post the recordings on the website. I think that's a great value add for our members that can't get here. But I want to make sure that people are okay with that. Another option would be to restrict it to whoever can attend, or restrict it to only those who register for the event. And so if you could let me know how you feel about that, like if you knew that this was going to be posted to the main group, would you feel comfortable asking the real hard questions? Would you feel comfortable with that? Go ahead and drop me something in the chat, or you can speak up, whichever way is most comfortable for you.
Well, one of the things, I think it should stay open because we may teach men something.
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm on my second marriage. I don't think I can teach a man anything. Unless
no, but I mean, there may be other.
No raunchy there. Let me just hold that back.
Yeah, but it's open to anybody because it could be, an it. So we could teach somebody something if we leave it completely open. And if you're not, if you're not in real estate and not afraid to say some things, you may not have the hard enough skin to do this business, because it's not easy. It looks easy sometimes on paper, but you have to have a thick skin.
We're definitely going to have to play that one by ear. I think I'll add that into the poll because I'm getting mixed responses on my private messages of how people feel about that. So what we'll do is we'll put it in the poll. And I was about to say I'm not a democracy kind of person when it comes to meetings, but I am absolutely Team USA. But sometimes when you put everything to a vote, and it almost feels like some people win and some people lose. So we don't want it to be in that kind of a spirit. We just want to see. And if we have to, we may do a compromise in that we might have a main meeting, and then we might have a Q&A session, and maybe the Q&A session doesn't get recorded. I like all the juicy answers. So but maybe we have both. We'll put that in the poll, and we'll just see how people feel about that. And y'all can kind of nug on that for a little bit. To be frank, I don't think people are going to take the time
to watch it. Yeah, I agree.
But it's not about what I want. It's what's going to make everyone comfortable, because I know that the first couple of so wait, let me back up. Something I probably didn't tell you all. Me and my ex-husband invested since 1999, but I just followed along. I went to all the classes. I took all the notes. I was a property manager. I was good at being a property manager once somebody gave me a good checklist, right? But I didn't do the negotiating. I didn't do any of the stuff. And so when I ended up with all this debt, this divorce debt, I started off by putting money into other investors' deals. And what happened is one of those deals went south, and she sold the house but never paid us. And then she did whatever she did.
Yeah.
Then she declared bankruptcy. So we tried to sue her, and we couldn't get our money. You can sue somebody and you can get a judgment. I mean, those of you who have rent, buy and hold, you know this to be true. You can sue somebody and you can get a judgment, but you cannot squeeze blood from a turnip. So if they don't have the money, you are out to dry. So there's strategies, and I hope we'll get somebody on to talk about some of those strategies. But I was like, you know what? I can do this myself. I have enough knowledge, but I didn't have the confidence and the education and the connections. And when I first started, people were taking advantage of me, and having that women's only group that was not recorded, because back then everything wasn't social media and recorded, right? Having that group and having that private space, it made a difference for me. And I like to think I am quite tough. I mean, you got to be tough to be a physicist in the Air Force for 23 years, the first woman of color to do so. Usually the only woman of the room and the only person of color in the room. And, you got to have a certain level of toughness. But man, when I was out of my domain, I admire Lisa. Lisa, were you Army?
Yes.
That's you're probably like, yeah, Air Force cream puff, but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was another one. Now, guest speakers, again, if y'all have suggestions for guest speakers, I am gonna put that into the poll. Oh, Ghosty, we got a, all right, all right. Yeah, I'm thinking about having my son apply for the Coast Guard Academy, so we'll see how that goes. I'd love to talk to you about that offline. Another thing that Tim wanted us to talk about was a name. And I've seen several names. I don't know that it's essential for us to discuss, but if you have ideas for names, I've seen things like Wings, Women Investing Network and Support Group. I thought that was kind of funny, like West DFW Wings, but we already have a long group name, West DFW REIG. So maybe Wire, Women Investing in Real Estate. What's another one that we've seen? There's a couple different things like that. So if you guys have any ideas, if any of you are more creative than I am, please do send me your suggestions. You can either drop them in the chat or you can email them to me later. And with that, actually, I gave you my phone number, but I don't think I gave you my email. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to drop my number and email in the chat again. You all can reach out to me at any time. I don't guarantee, because I am a professional speaker who gives out my email and my number. I do not guarantee that I will get back with you in 5 minutes, but I will generally get back with you in a timely manner. Okay, so there we go. That's my information there. If you have ideas or things like that, please do send them to me. But what I'm taking away from this is we're looking for network, we're looking for connection, we're looking to build relationships with that we might be able to joint venture with, or as Lisa said, partner. I don't like to use partner because I give
Joint venture is better.
I
Yeah.
like joint venture because that suggests we're going to have a structure and we're going to have documentation and we're going to know who's the lead
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah. Don't do anything without a lawyer. Yeah.
So
yeah.
some of us, well, if you do have to jump off, please do. We are over the allotted time that you all promised me. So if you do have to jump off, please do. But I think we're done. And so be on the lookout. Now, listen, if you are not a member of West DFW REI Group, make sure I have your email, or you might not get Tim's email with the poll. And you might not. So we want to make sure that you have every opportunity to participate. And then when it comes time for members only, I want to make sure you have every opportunity to join. Okay. All right. So with that, we're going to close the formal portion of the meeting. I will stay on for discussion or questions as desired. And if anybody else, don't feel obligated to drop your email and phone number in here. But if you want me to be able to stay in touch with you, I recommend that you put your contact information in the chat so that I can stay in touch with you, because this is not my Zoom. This is Tim's business Zoom. So it's not mine. So I won't have access to all these things, and he'll eventually set it up so that I'll be able to get it from him. But right now we're still flying by the seat of our pants. So, I always believe in controlling what you can control, knowing that we can't control everything. Again, thank you all for being on. And I'm excited that you all have come on tonight.
Just
for those of you, have a great night.
Just a quick question on the name thing. You may want to ask Tim if we need to keep something about West DFW in it, because we need to be members of West DFW to be a member of the women's group. Correct.
Right. Well, we do have to. That's what I was saying earlier. We already have a long name, West DFW REIG. That's going to be at the front of whatever we call ourselves. But at the moment, it's an outreach. So at the moment, you do not have to be a member, but eventually the goal is to make this something, whether it's after 1 or 2 meetings or after 3 or 4. I think it's, it depends on the success. I mean, most of us on here today are members, and we want to protect that investment. So it'll probably be after 1 or 2. I don't know. But at some point, it's going to switch to either being members only or paid, like our main monthly meetings. You don't have to join to come to the main meetings, but after your first one, which is free, then after that, I think it's like $25 or something to come to the meetings if you don't want to join and get the discount on coming to all of them. So that I think we're going to follow that same model, but except for with the additional piece of members of the West DFW REIG are already automatically included in this.
Okay.
All right. Do we have any other questions or any other thoughts? Yes, Misty.
Yes, so I question and comment, I guess. I've been receiving the emails for actually a few years now. And then when I went to register for this event, and I actually went to the luncheon today so that's the first time I've went to a group. But I've just been getting the emails, and I would read emails and stuff, but I guess I haven't paid for a membership, so I'm not currently a member. And I when you opened up the webpage a while ago, I guess I haven't even seen that yet. So, how do I find that? Is it just go to the West DFW REI
Yeah, let me drop
website?
that in the chat. Let me drop that in the
And
chat.
how do I?
Let me log out. Let me log out, sign out, and then they'll show you all exactly what it looks like when you're not logged in. Let me, share screen. Let's go back to that. Great question. Okay, so I'm signed out. So if you go to West DFW REI Group.com, so that stands for West DFW REI Group stands for Real Estate Investment Group. And you might in other markets see them called REIA, Real Estate Investment Association. This is the homepage for our group. You can have a free account in the group, so you don't have to be a member to be on the mailing list for the group. But if you would like to become a member, you will see that there are a lot of benefits that you get. Oh, I think I already showed you all this. You get one of the things that I like is you get a discount on membership if you show up to the meetings. But you can become a member by clicking that membership. Oh, it was down there. Okay, membership info, and then become a member, and it'll take you right there. And so I will say that when Tim first started charging membership fees, the group was smaller and the fees were smaller. So if you know you're going to be around for a while and you want to be able to download the recordings and things like that from meetings that you aren't able to attend, I suggest you get in as early as you can, because as the price keeps going up, your price doesn't keep going up. So I like the fact that like one time my card got frauded and I had to change it, and I was real quick like, Tim, we need to fix this. And he's like, oh, yeah, your membership's about to expire and you're about to have to pay.
Right.
Oh, prices.
Right. Mm-hmm. So this is annual? These are annual fees?
This is annual. And so if you're going to be online only, there is a reduced fee for that. Although the value, a lot of the meetings, they're really juicy. I can't even express it enough, y'all. Let me just come off the share screen for a second.
Yeah.
I've been in so many real estate investment group meetings where it's just, they come in, they teach you a little bit of something, they sell you into a $2,000 package, and then they leave town, and you don't ever get to be able to ask questions. You don't get to email them. You don't get that same level of support. They promise support, but what their support usually looks like is they partner you with somebody else from your area that also doesn't know what they're doing. And then y'all both fall into a ditch, right? So yeah, that's the website, westdfwreigroup.com.
Cool.
And make sure if they have a thing in there that you tell Tim, I don't get any credit for it, I don't get any affiliate fee or anything, but let Tim know that you came as a result of this group.
Okay.
Any other questions? This is great. Well, I guess we're done for the night then, but in the future, this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that I have reserved time after the group official meeting so that we can ask questions. And a lot of the classes that I teach, that Q&A session, it can run longer than the main meeting. So, just keep in mind that if you have your questions, I can't answer everything. I haven't done everything, but I've done a lot, and we have people in the group who have done a lot. And so, and you can tell people are willing to share their knowledge. And so we're happy that you're here. and hope that you'll be back and keep an eye out for that poll. Sound good?
Yep, sounds good.
All right. I'm gonna scan the chat and make sure there's not a question that I missed. But with that, if there are no other questions, then we are done. I don't see any other question. Bye, Sarah. Bye, Lee. Bye, Misty. Bye, George A.
Bye.
Stop.